First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakakudash. Yahweh is to this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is to this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'Hashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kudash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. Also, want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's video, I wanted to go into how faith is our currency. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm realizing that more and more people are seeing that America is going to collapse. They're seeing that everything is headed for complete destruction, right? How things are getting more expensive, right? Inflation, and how nothing seems to be getting better. And after seeing all these videos, you look at what are people's responses, what are people's plans, and it's normally a lot of doomsday preppers talking about you need to stock up on food, on water, you need to get your house ready, which those things are they're wise to do, but that's not what's gonna save you. Okay, that's the point. Is that's not what's gonna save you. I saw another guy, he's a like investor, and he was talking about how you need to make money in 2026 because this is all going to collapse, right? So you see the common trend, how people see it's coming, but their answer is carnal. Okay, they think that they are going to get themselves out of this, when really the answer is faith. Okay, faith is what's going to deliver us. So let's go to Zephaniah chapter 1 and start at verse 10. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills." Right, going into the day of Jacob's trouble, okay, this coming end times, there's going to be a great crashing, okay, from the fish gate, going into your areas of trade, right, your so-called Newark exchange, stock exchange, where people buy and sell. Okay, there's going to be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Right, this place is about to go down. It says, "How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off." And when you go into what is Maktesh, it goes into Maktesh, a mortar or deep, hollow, a hollow, or evidently in the greater Jerusalem area, right? Which, search it up on Google. Maktesh. Let me see if I can find what I want. It's not what I want. Right, which I remember correctly, you go to Maktesh, right? It was a port city. Right, it represents a place of business that faced divine judgment as outlined in the prophecies of Zephaniah. Right, and that's what it's going into. It says it's not a port city, but a biblical term, Zephaniah 1:11, referring to a specific sunken or hollow district in or near ancient Jerusalem, likely in the Kidron or Taropoyon Valley. Known as the mortar-shaped merchant quarter, it was inhabited by traders often associated with Phoenician silver merchants who were prophesied to be silenced. Right, and this was not a prophecy that's happening yet. This was a future prophecy talking about America when you look at it, okay, in a spiritual lens. And the reason is because when it jumps down, it talks about the great day of Yahweh is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Right, so it's talking about that day, okay, the day of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. So, this place is about to go down, right? All the merchant people, all the people that buy and sell, right? That's why it even says in Revelation 13 and 16 that if you don't take that mark in your right hand or in your forehead, going into the chip, you're not going to be able to buy or sell, right? Because a new system is going to be in place. And in order for the new system to come in, the old system has to fall. And that's what's coming. So it says, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Right? It's going to be something that you can't even imagine. Right? It's going to be so bad that people are going to be calling upon other gods. Right? Here it is, people that you don't even see religious at all, right? That don't care about God, atheists. In that day, they're going to be calling upon God because they're going to run out of answers. Right? So A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers, right? Against this place, right? This would be your so-called fenced city and high towers going into a place that is protected. Okay, and America stands behind, its giant nukes and its strong military, right? Thinking that, it will never go down, but it will. It says, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Right? So the Lord is going to have it where, you people that don't believe, you're going to be thinking that you're doing everything wrong, but you're really walking blind. Okay, the Lord is going to send such a strong delusion on you that you are going to be walking blind. And that's why so many people are going to crash out, because they're going to say, damn, everything I'm doing is going wrong. And there's nothing I can do right. Because they don't have Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? And this is their mentality. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Right? So, your silver, your gold, your dollars, okay, your water, your food, right? These material things, they're not going to deliver you. Okay? Because this is a spiritual problem. Okay? Doesn't even matter if you have, water, food in abundance. If you don't believe, the Most High is going to make it where, those things come to nothing. Right? Brothers always bring on the example of, all these doomsday preppers, have a specific spot, but what happens if this all kicks off and you can't get to your spot? It's ultimately for nothing. Right? So that's why a faith, okay, is what's going to deliver us. Right? Faith is our currency. Okay? You can read about that in Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Right? So, don't put your trust, okay, upon these material things. Right? Because all these material things can be taken. And that's a perfect example, the doomsday box. Right? What happens if, you go back to your doomsday box and somebody ransacked it? And now you're messed up, right? Now you have no shot. You lost all your hope, right? But if your trust is upon the heavenly things, upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you have that faith. Okay, nothing that happens is gonna faze you, right? Because your treasures are in heaven, and that's what we're doing every single day by hearing the word. Okay, to the brothers that make videos, preaching the word, believing, mortifying the deeds of the flesh. Okay, what we're doing is we're storing up our treasures in heaven. We're building up our faith. So when that day comes, and you see people, getting gunned down left and right, You see atrocities. Okay, we're gonna see things that you can't even possibly imagine, man. It is gonna get bad. But when you see all these things, your mind is gonna be stable because you're gonna remember Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is in control. And if I have faith, I have nothing to fear about. That's gonna be the mentality. So let's go to Matthew chapter 10 and verse 28. It says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Right? Hell meaning a low condition. Right? So don't fear, these people of the world that can just destroy your body. Right? Fear the Heavenly Father who he can destroy your body and also torment your soul. Okay? It says it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Right, so fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai because he's the one that is in control. It says, are not two sparrows sold for a farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father? Right? So even the animals, right, if one dies, it's because the Most High allowed it. It says, but the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear ye not, therefore, ye are more value than many sparrows. Right? So the Most High is protecting us. Right, and you just gotta trust in him. So we get one more scripture, Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 20. And as it says, a remnant will return, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. Right, so in that day, right, you commonly see a phrase, in that day. Right? You see it here, the great day. Okay? You see it here in that day. It's all talking about the end times. So when these end times come, the chip is made mandatory. We're not gonna trust upon Esau Edom. We're not gonna trust in this government, okay, to give us what we need. We're gonna go full off the grid and trust in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai in truth, and only the elect will do that. So, quick video to always remember that faith is our currency, right? Faith is what matters. So hopefully this was edifying with that, and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Kakodash. And double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.